Hello there, and welcome to today's Pokemon Yellow solo run. Today we're going to be doing Articuno. Fun little fact before starting, Articuno was actually one of my favorite legendaries, and it's my favorite Gen 1 legendary, even ahead of Mewtwo. Articuno is going to be a much easier run than other ones. It has some impressive base stats with 90 base HP, 100 base defense, 85 speed, which is kind of low. It's one of its lowest stats, so we're going to be getting outsped quite a bit. 85 attack, an amazing 125 special, with a total base stats of 485. It also has an amazing starting moveset with Ice Beam and Peck. Now granted, it's not going to get very many more good moves. It's going to get Blizzard at 51, Agility at 55, and Mist at 60 if we're able to get to level 51. It does have a wide variety of TM moves that we can teach it. However, in this instance, we're only going to be focusing on a few of them, which is going to be Bubble Beam, Water Gun, Blizzard if we're not already level 51 by the time we do get to Cinnabar Island, and then Mimic and Bide. And Articuno starting with Ice Beam is going to be very good for us in the start of the game. It means we're going to be able to do minimum battles against Brock. So we are going to be skipping rival number 2 and every single trainer in the forest. That is not required. Articuno is going to more than likely blaze through the game without any issues. The only real issue that we're going to have is Blaine. So this starts the first rival battle. It's going to be absolutely trivial because of course we do have Ice Beam and Articuno's special attack is through the roof. First one almost knocks it out, literally just going with a Peck. The only reason that we're going to do Peck is that this is going to be a minimum battles run and we're going to try to save as much PP as we can. The literal idea is to just go straight to Brock. We will, however, be battling the one trainer in Brock's gym, just for a little bit of extra experience. We're more than likely not going to need it, but since Articuno is in the slow group, it is helpful to get some extra experience early game. So that is kind of a contradiction in its own self, but this was the only optional trainer that I did decide to take. We are going to start with Geodude though, and of course Articuno has Ice Beam, and then we'll see if it one-hit KOs it. Oh yeah, shocker. The rock hit by ice died. And then out comes Onix. Ooh, using Bide, feeling courageous. Hit Ice Beam, instant one-hit KO. With that being said, Articuno goes to level 9 and beats Brock with a time of 6 minutes 50 seconds, and then we get our first official gym badge. So moving on to Mount Moon, we are going to have a little bit of bad luck with encounters. It did add some time to it. We're going to take one slight deviation though. We're going to skip all the optional trainers, and then we're also going to pick up Water Gun. Water Gun is going to be helpful in getting us through Mount Moon because Ice Beam has such little PP and allows us to be held over until we're able to get Bubble Beam. We're also going to pick up the red candy in the escape rope, and then we're going to get over here and fight the Super Nerd. And the Super Nerd is going to be a pretty trivial fight, just because of the fact Articuno does have Ice Beam and it has such a high special. We're going to hit the Grimer and of course just get a critical hit and knock it out, and it brings us up to level 15. Next comes out the Voltorb. We do try to do Water Gun to save a little bit of PP. We do have the Rockets coming up, and they're much more scary than what the Super Nerd is, just because there's 3 of them and they're a higher level. So taking out that with Water Gun saved a little bit of Ice Beam. I did try a Peck here, and I noticed that it was going to be a 3-hit, and then of course Articuno gets poisoned. Because we get poisoned, I went ahead for Ice Beam just to make sure we can get the kill. And then of course we got to take the Helix Fossil. Now I did have a little bit of a second thought here when we started Jesse and James. They are the scariest battle in this area, but with how impressive Articuno's special attack is and the fact I have Ice Beam, I thought, maybe I can get past the rival. So originally, while I was going to just Ice Beam all 3 of these, I decided to change it up and I went with 2 Water Guns and Peck on the first one. Meowth is a little bit scarier just because of its higher attack, so I went ahead and straight Ice Beamed it, and then out came Coughing. I did kind of misclick. I meant to go back down and hit Ice Beam, and I ended up hitting him with Water Gun, so since I'd already committed, I just went ahead and just did a 3-hit with Water Gun, and with that, we took down Jesse and James for the first time. And with having Jesse and James beat, we're able to go immediately to the rival. The rival is going to more than likely be a very, very quick battle. His Pokemon are either weak to Ice Beam, or just in general don't have good specials. So out comes Spearow, and of course, immediate one-hit KO with Ice Beam. Out comes Sandshrew, immediate one-hit KO with Ice Beam. Out comes Rattata, and of course he uses Quick Attack, because you know all Rattatas do, and one-hit KO with Ice Beam. And then out comes Eevee. Eevee surprisingly is able to live in Ice Beam, but we do manage to finish it off with a second Ice Beam. I should have used Water Gun, but that's okay. Now I am going to showcase one battle on the bridge. This battle with the last went very, very poorly. I used Peck, and Pidgey was able to live through it, and it used 1 Sand Attack, 2 Sand Attacks, and then got off a Quick Attack. I missed again, triple Sand Attack, missed again. Yeah, it's going downhill as you can see. Another Sand Attack, and then it's got me down a quarter already. I'm almost down to a third of my HP. It used Sand Attack again, and luckily it missed the last two. But I'm down to half now, and I finally am able to hit it with Peck and knock it out. So with that being said, Nidoring came out. I immediately went for Ice Beam because I did not want to wipe. Missed 3 Ice Beams. I'm getting lower and lower, starting to get scared. Missed a 4th Ice Beam, and then finally the 5th Ice Beam hit it. Wow, that was scary. And then we're going to pick up Charmander right here because, of course, we need our HM Pokemon and our Dig Pokemon so we can go back. We are going to also pick up this Elixir, and then we are also going to pick up the Ether. And then next up is Misty. Misty is actually one of the more challenging ones early game, but it's also very trivial at the same time. So I went ahead and finally took use of Bide. I went ahead and pecked on Staryu and got a critical hit and almost knocked it out. The second peck was able to knock it out. But Starmie is why we have Bide, because it absolutely loves to use Harden. First peck does abysmal damage. It's going to be like an 8-turn knockout. So with using Bide, it went for Harden. I unleashed energy and of course missed. And it is outspeeding me, so Bide is kind of being a double-edged sword, but it gets a critical hit tackle, and I cannot believe I prayed for a second critical hit tackle, so when we unleashed Bide, we ended up knocking it out because of that. Yeah, even past me got a really good laugh out of that, but I honestly could not believe just how easy that was, and then we are going to get Ice Beam. Bubble Beam. So we're going to immediately teach Bubble Beam to Articuno over Water Gun. This is going to make it so much easier than the weak Water Gun. So on the SSN, we are going to pick up the Max Ether, and then of course we are going to pick up the Rare Cami. Those are the only 2 optional battles that we took because of course Articuno cannot learn Body Slam. This rival battle is pretty much going to go about the same as the last one did, and it's going to be very, very trivial. That's one thing I love about Articuno. It makes everything trivial. Spearow's going to come out, instantly get Ice Beamed, 1-hit KO of course. Next coming out is Rattata, and we are going to hit it with a Bubble Beam, and 1-hit KO it with a critical hit. Last out is Sandshrew. We're going to hit it with another Ice Beam, and 1-hit KO it. And then Eevee comes out. Eevee is able to, nope, it gets knocked out, just like that. And just like that, we've defeated Blue, and now we're off to Surge. Surge doesn't go all so well. So with Surge, I did save beforehand because I didn't know how it was going to end. I was hoping to be faster than Surge, but I did not look up the base stats of any of the gym leaders. Of course, I don't do that. And I'm also out of Ice Beam, so I went ahead and hit it with Bubble Beam, and that Thunderbolt hit for massive damage, and it paralyzed me, so we only did 1/5. Second Thunderbolt knocked us out, so we are going to have to skip and come back to Surge later, sadly, but that's okay. So with Surge in our back corner, we are going to go to Celadon City, and at Celadon City, we're going to buy the Pokédoll. We need the Pokédoll so we can skip Marowak in the Pokemon Tower, and then we are going to take just a little bit of a trip upstairs so we can go ahead and get the drink for the guards so we can go into Saffron City. Now, I do make a mistake here. I went to immediately try to buy 3 calciums, forgetting that they are 9,800, thinking they were only 9,000. I thought I had enough. I noticed I didn't have anything else to sell, and then I tried to buy the 3 only before noticing, oh, I forgot they cost that much. So I went ahead and bought 2. These 2 calciums will just help raise our special attack and special defense, and they're only going to make Ice Beam stronger, which is why I went straight for calciums. We'll buy more later, but right now, they were the ones that I saw to be the most important, so we are going to use both of those on Articuno before we advance over to Erica. And Erica, of course, is going to be Erica. She's not Agatha, Erica. And it's going to be a very straightforward and easy battle because we have a legendary Bird of Ice, and she has a bunch of grass Pokemon. Tangela is hit with a 1-hit KO, out comes Weeping Bell, 1-hit KO. It never stood a chance. And then out comes Gloom. Gloom was the only thing I thought that made, oh, no, never mind. I did think it might survive, but we ended up getting the 1-shot on it anyway. And then we're going to go ahead and hop over here and get Fly and teach it to Articuno. Yeah, this is going to be replacing Peck as our main move. It does kind of suck because it is a 2-turn move, but it is much more powerful. The only thing that limits Articuno is the fact that it has a lower attack stat. If it had a higher attack stat, it'd be able to benefit more from it, but that lower attack stat really does sadly hinder it, and there's just not much that we can do with it. So this elixir right here took over a minute to get at double speed. This was so frustrating. I mean, oh my gosh. Next up on our list is our rival in the Pokemon Tower. He's going to start out with Fearow yet again, which is of course weak to Ice Beam, so without a doubt it's just going to be a straight 1-hit KO.
I went here directly without healing after Erica. Next comes out is Magnemite, and Magnemite is also a one-hit KO, and then comes out Shelter. Shelter's a bit of an annoyance because it has a very high defense, and it does resist our other attacks. So we went ahead and we just pecked it down. It took 3 pecks. Next comes out Sandshrew, and Sandshrew goes down really quick and easily to a Bubble Beam. Next up is Eevee, and then we are going to use Fly on Eevee just because we want to try to save our Ice Beam PP, and we end up beating Blue just like that. And then, oh, we get an encounter right before Jesse and James. Nice timing with that. So while Jesse and James are not going to be difficult, we do want to try to get through them as soon as possible. So what's going to happen is we're just going to literally use our Ice Beam here. There was a healing spot in the Pokemon Tower, so it allowed us to refill all of our moves and our HP. First Ice Beam knocks out Meowth. Arbok, same way. Second Ice Beam takes it down. Next comes out Weezing, and we end up getting... oh, so close. But it does poison us, so we have to use Peck. And now Articuno is poisoned, but that did level us up to level 33. So we did go back to fight Lieutenant Surge, and the reason why I did this is because I need to get Fly as soon as possible, and we are a higher level. I did think that saving would be safer just in case that Raichu got a double critical hit, or paralyzed and got a critical hit because it is so fast it has a high critical hit ratio. So I went with Ice Beam turn 1, hoping to get a one-hit knockout, and it did not. It barely survived. It brought us down to 69. Nice, but you see that critical hit. But the Peck was able to knock it out. And then inside of Koga's gym, I fought every single trainer for the extra experience. I thought it would be an easier thing to do overall, because Articuno was hitting the point where the opposing Pokemon, even though they're not as strong, are starting to catch up. And you can see in this battle, Venonat was able to survive an Ice Beam, which means the rest of them are also going to survive. So I went ahead and I tried Fly, and it almost knocked it out in one hit. So my idea was I could just use Fly and then Peck, Fly, Peck, and then when Venomoth came out, we would just immediately Ice Beam it. This one barely went down to half, so I went ahead and I used Fly, and we were able to get the knockout with it. And then out came Venomoth. Venomoth, I immediately went for Ice Beam, but it poisoned us turn 1. And then I remembered that Ice Beam wasn't super effective. It used Double Team. Thankfully, we still hit. It used Psychic and almost knocked us out. Hurt by Poison. We're so close to losing, but it just went for Double Team, thankfully, and we just barely lived. That was so close and scary. And then with that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to enter Silph Cove right here. I did remember and also have my guide looked up to go exactly where we needed to go to make sure I would not get lost, end up battling a bunch of extra people. We're only going to grab the essentials. We're going to come straight here and then immediately come down and then go up to get the key card. Now this trainer is mandatory to get the key card, as everyone knows there's no way around it, but luckily he just has an Arbok. It is a relatively high level Arbok at level 33, but one Ice Beam is able to take it down. With him defeated, we're just going to walk on over to the right, grab the car key, and then we're going to go up and grab the 3 items. One being our Carbos, the next one being the rare candy, and then the other one being a TM. I really did not need the TM, but I went ahead and I just grabbed it because it was right there. Maybe sell it for extra money if you're a little bit short. And then we're going to be able to start Rival 5. I did save here just to be safer than sorry, because Articuno is still a much lower level than the rest of the competition around us. Just because you're a legendary with really high stats doesn't mean that you can't lose. First out is going to be Sandslash, and we're going to use Ice Beam, take it out with one hit. Next comes out Cloyster, and Cloyster is honestly his most scariest Pokemon because it can just continue to raise his stats. Luckily, the first Fly gets a critical hit, and then second Fly barely does anything. He confuses us, but we are able to break through it, and then the second Fly barely does anything again. With that being said, I immediately went for Ice Beam because Cloyster now has a lower special than it did regular defense. Next comes out Magneton. Magneton gets hit with Ice Beam. It's almost a one-hit KO, but it does no Thundershock. Thundershock is kind of scary. Second Ice Beam knocks it out. Kadabra comes out, and then immediately we're just going to fly up in the air, poof, hit it and knock it out. And then last out is Flareon. With Flareon, we're going to go straight for Bubble Beam. It's going to be a 2-hit KO. Ember hits us and does a decent amount, but oh no, it takes 3. Luckily that Fire Spin missed, but with that being said, Rival 5 has been defeated. Bye, Rival. And next up on our road to 1,000 subs is Giovanni. This fight is a little bit harder than the last one, which we actually skip because we don't go down in the game corner, but his team is pretty straightforward. It's going to start with Nidorino, and while Nidorino isn't ice related, we are going to save just a little bit of PP and go for Fly. We get the critical hit and knock it out in one hit. Next out is Persian. We go straight for Ice Beam because Persian is scary and can critical hit. Articuno grows to level 40. Nice. Rhyhorn comes out, one Bubble Beam should knock it out, and then just like that, critical hit, it is gone. The last out is Nidoqueen, the scariest and highest level Pokemon. Bubble Beam hits it for about 2/3, and then we go with an Ice Beam just to finish it off. I really should have used another Bubble Beam there, but that's okay. And with that, Giovanni's defeated. Next up on our list is going to be Sabrina. Sabrina is one of the main reasons that we actually have Fly, other than, of course, the Alakazam that we're going to run into at the rival. Because special attack and special defense are mixed together in Generation 1, all of the Pokemon, even Abra, are really strong against Articuno Special, even though it is relatively high itself. So what we're going to do is, of course, just go straight in with Fly. We're going to take out the Abra, and then we're going to go straight in with Fly again. However, it does kind of backfire, and she uses the next defense. So we end up not knocking out Kadabra. Kadabra only does 12 damage, though, and then recovers. And we're kind of in an infinite loop here, because it can recover on our turn up. Also nice, down to 69 HP. But because it attacked, we are able to knock it out. Oh, nice one, bye-bye. So she brings out Alakazam. It starts up the cover, and it does outspeed us, but it just went recover twice in a row. First attack brings down halfway, and then that Psywave hit for massive damage. I've never seen Psywave hit that high before. But with that, we do have Sabrina knocked out, and then we have our next badge in the books. With Sabrina beaten, we are going to go grab Mimic. I have a strategy in mind for using Mimic with the Elite Four, but we'll have to see how that one unfolds in just a little bit. Next up is Blaine. Blaine is the one that worried me because I did think that he might be our potential wall. I only battled a few trainers inside of Blaine's gym, mostly to level up just a few levels. Because Articuno does have the high special, I was hoping that even with the super effective damage, we'd be able to resist. And it didn't go so well. Blaine kind of did wall us. I tried an Ice Beam first because it wasn't done. And I couldn't even critical hit KO Ninetales in one hit. So I was not thinking that this was going to go very well. But we are able to knock out Ninetales. We're just shy of leveling up. Next comes out Rapidash. Rapidash gets a takedown and does almost half of our health. Confusion, of course, because never lucky. And then second takedown causes us our second loss of the run. Sad. Next attempt, I did go in straight again without leveling up. I didn't want to try to over level. I wanted to see how much we could do. First, Ice Beam doesn't even bring it down to half, but it hits us again with Confuse Ray. And then, of course, hit ourselves in Confusion, get hit with that. And then Bubble Beam barely does anything. Bubble Beam would be a 3-hit KO. At this point, it comes down to just trying to see how many Ice Beams I have, but it was starting to go through my head that we more than likely are going to have to level up. Takedown hits us, does 40 damage. Fly hits and barely does a 4, so a Fly would be a 4-hit KO. Even with Rapidash using Takedown, us hitting Fly, we still were not able to knock it out. Articuno is strong, it's just at this level it's not a high enough attack output. Even with a critical hit here, Arcanine's still able to take us down, and that's loss number 3. Attempt number 3 of Blaine, I did go into the Pokemon Mansion and fight a few of the voluntary trainers to level up. Ice Beam hits and does well over half, so it'd be a 2-hit KO. Just bad luck though. Our Ninetales starts straight out with Flamethrower and takes us down to a 3rd. Out comes Rapidash, we hit it with Ice Beam. It's enough to 2-hit KO it, but it hits us with Stomp and we're about ready to be knocked out. We are able to take it out, and then Arcanine comes out. We hit it with Ice Beam, hits us with Fire Blast, critical hit where it wasn't even needed, and that gives us our next loss. Next attempt, go in again. I don't want to try to level up anymore. I'm trying to also save on our rare candies. Ice Beam and a Tail Whip, that's pretty good. Second Ice Beam takes it down, and then out comes Rapidash. Do Ice Beam again. Really good RNG here. 2 of them down with no damage taken. Arcanine comes out, we do Ice Beam, and it does Fire Blast and we live, and then I click Ice Beam again. Oh no. Ugh. If I would have done Blizzard, we would have won. Alright, that was a near perfect attempt, but it does show that it is possible. So I was only a little bit shy off leveling up, so I went and leveled up Articuno just a little bit. At this level, it is almost enough to 1-hit KO it, but it's still not enough. Rapidash comes out. We hit it with Blizzard, going for it. I keep forgetting that Blizzard is much better than Ice Beam in this generation just because of that, but it still works out. Arcanine comes out, hit it with Blizzard, and we get the freeze! And with that, Blaine is defeated.
Last up on our gym leaders is, of course, Giovanni. Going into Giovanni, I was not worried because Articuno was, of course, Ice. The only thing that worries a little bit is the trio, and of course it goes for Sand Attack turn 1. We're able to knock it out in 1 hit. Out comes Persian. I go for Blizzard, and we're still able to hit even through Sand Attack. Next comes out Nidoqueen. Hit it with Blizzard again. It doesn't miss. 4th out is Nidoking. I get cocky and go for Blizzard again, and we're able to hit Blizzard 3 times in a row with lowered accuracy, go to level 51. And last out is Rhydon. Rhydon, we just need to use Ice Beam because it's quadruple weak. We were able to take it down in one hit. Even with that bad start, we were able to take away a decisive victory. So going into the rival before Victory Road, I was not worried at all. Of course comes out Sand Slash, so we are going to use Ice Beam and one-shot it without a doubt. Next comes out Execute. I'm surprised it's not an Executor. Use Ice Beam and of course one-shot it again. And then comes out Cloyster. Cloyster is where I started to think that the rival might give us a little bit of trouble. I didn't remember someone else who also uses Cloyster. More on that later. It does hit Clamp and does a massive amount of damage to us. Our Blizzard barely did a third, so even with Blizzard, this is a 2 or 3 hit, depending on if we can get a critical hit. We are going to get down really low because of Clamp. Clamp is just so strong, but we are able to take it out with that critical hit. And because we're so low on HP, I just go straight in for Blizzard against Magneton. And then out comes Kadabra. Kadabra is a little bit faster and able to get off Reflect. We get out the Fly, and then go to level 52, and out comes Flareon. This is going great. Nothing is going to go bad. We do almost one hit, but we freeze it. Man, this RNG has been great. And just like that, the rival is defeated.
Now wait just a second. This has been going too good. Wasn't there some epic foreshadowing in the beginning? Oh no. It's about to get very bad, isn't it?
So going into Elite Four, I'm feeling really confident. We went through Victory Road, did not take any optional trainers. Want to save them just in case we need them, but I don't think we're going to. And out comes Dugong first. We're still level 52. Gonna go ahead and go straight with Fly because everything else is pretty much resisted. And it barely does anything and goes right to sleep. I try Ice Beam so much it's gonna hit, and it does virtually nothing. I hit it with Fly again. We do get a critical hit. We're almost able to knock it out. Hits us with a Roar Beam. So then I decide to go ahead with Ice Beam again, and it does not take it out. Hits us with Takedown. Does an okay amount of damage, but the next Ice Beam is able to take it out. And then comes out Cloyster. Cloyster is the reason I gave Articuno Mimic, because of the fact that it has Spike Cannon and Clamp. Now, my original thought process with Cloyster, 100% to be honest, was to try Supersonic and see if I could confuse it. I learned very quickly after looking at its moves that this was a bad idea, and because I was already committed, I still went with it, and it's going to end up costing us this attempt. So I went with Supersonic, and then of course, you know, hey, it doesn't work, because that's just how RNG works. It's hitting us like crazy. I go straight up for it, but it has so much defense that it barely does anything. Uses Clamp, and with that, Articuno goes down to 4, we fly, we hit, doesn't knock it out, and we're done. Going to a second attempt for Lorelei, I knew that we were going to need Clamp to get through this. Spike Cannon would be a close second, but because it doesn't stop her from attacking, we still are going to take damage. The problem is we have to get through Dugong. Dugong is a wall. It's a wall with infinite rest PP, and it likes to wake up on the first or second turn and stare at us like, hey, I win. Gong, 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 as Dugong likes to say. So we're going to start going Fly and trying to whittle it down. We need 3 good damage rolls to take it down with Fly without it lowering our attack from our Roar Beam or without it going to sleep. I do get risky and go for Blizzard. We're able to knock it out. Comes out Cloyster. I go straight for Clamp because we want to try to have it have as little turns as possible. It hits us with spike damage, gets 3 hits, does a decent amount of damage. We go straight up with Fly and then try to go through it once, and then we start Clamping. Clamping does only a little bit of damage. With Clamp, we really need to hope that that first hit is going to be a critical. Articuno just does not have the physical attack bulk with its own movesets to go through this. We have to get that critical, and this one just doesn't go very good. It's got us down to a 3rd HP. We go for Clamp, nice critical hit. Wish it would have came a little bit earlier, but we are able to take it out. And then comes out Slowbro. Slowbro, we go up a Fly. We want to see how much it does, but it sets up turn 1. As soon as Slowbro starts to set up, it just goes downhill. It's kind of one of those situations of RNG can be really bad, and Slowbro knows Amnesia and Withdrawal. And once it sets up, there's not really anything that we can do. As you can see, I'm doing so little damage. We are able to almost take it out, and then she heals with the Super Potion, but it's doing so little that her Super Potion is out healing it. It's so horrible that they can use Super Potions during our turns. If I could get a critical hit here, I might be able to take it out. Nice critical hit, able to get it out. And then comes out Jinx. Jinx. I thought Jinx would be, you know, just straightforward and easy, and Lovely Kiss. Lovely Kiss. Oh, you are the vein of my existence. And with that being said, Jinx starts to slap away. We're down to 40, 36, 32, 28. Articuno's fast asleep. 24, 20, 16, 12,
Woke up, Thrash, and Articuno loses to Jinx. Wow. But that does not put us in a bad spot. I now have a strategy that I know that we can win. The problem is that we need Slowbro not to set up and become a wall. We have to get through Dugong, which just requires one good hit and a critical hit, or 2 critical hits, either one works. And then we have to get through Cloister with relative damage, keeping some of our PP for Clamp, and then we have to hope that Slowbro will not set up. Essentially, Lorelei at this level becomes a gigantic RNG fest. Since we don't have Sword Stance, we cannot use the Badge Boost glitch to boost up our regular attack and our special at the same time, so we really just have to push through this. Mimic is all that we have. I do honestly believe that Articuno could go through the entire league and Lorelei at this level, but like I said, it just comes down to RNG. So Cloister's going to come out, we're going to go straight for Mimic and learn Clamp. Cloister gets off Clamp first turn. It's better than Supersonic, but it's still going to do a lot of damage. And going out of Cloister, we want to have as much HP as possible. I did come to the conclusion that we may need to level up a bit. I wanted to try to save my remaining rare candies for later in the Elite Four in case we did get walled by Erica or Lance. Either one could potentially wall us. Lance was looking a little bit more scary, but I just wanted to make sure that I saved that. After this decision, I decided that this would be our last battle with resetting before going and letting Articuno level up. So we get to Slowbro again, and we're doing decent, but since it's already set up, we're pretty much at a position where it's going to be really hard to kill it. And then the problem is that Lorelei can just continue to use those potions our mid-attack. So we are able to almost whittle him down twice in a row, and then she just uses a super potion, and at this point, we're running out of clamps. We need a critical hit, but we're out, so we just have to go for it and chance a Blizzard. Blizzard is able to knock it out, thankfully. Jinx comes out. We've got really good HP. I go straight for Fly, but somehow Jinx is faster. Don't ask me how. Uses Lovely Kiss. We are almost able to knock it out. Go for the knockout, and it puts us to sleep yet again. You can see the frustration on my face. And then it starts out with Thrash. Thrash is doing really big damage. Brings us down to 60, down to 41. It's confused. Of course, it breaks through confusion and uses Lovely Kiss, though. And then it uses Thrash, brings us down, and you can kill. That's another white, just a bad RNG. So this is our last Lorelei with this current level. If this does not work, I'm just going to let Articuno level up and go through it and brute force our way. At this point, I'm just running up Articuno's real time compared to its in-game time, and a lot of that is just due to bad RNG. And that's how Pokemon is, whether you're speedrunning it, doing a solo challenge, or just playing it for fun. Pokemon just at points. Gives you good RNG and it gives you bad RNG. That's just the nature of the beast sometimes. Cloister does come out, hit it with Clamp. It's barely doing anything though. And then it just comes down to that point again. We just have to hope and pray. Articuno's confused, hits itself in confusion, gets hit by Spike Cannon, and Cloister's just whittling us away. We're already down to almost half. Going for the Clamp again. Thankfully we do get a critical hit. It's looking like this could be a good one. Go through it. It's almost knocked out, and then she heals. Oh, it's so frustrating. I hate that the AI can use that on turns when they don't have the ability to. We are able to knock out Cloister. We go to level 54. Next comes out Slowbro. I did know that Slowbro could go either way. If we could get good RNG, we'd be able to knock it out, but with bad RNG, it would knock us out. And then a special drop, our Clamp miss, withdraw, defense drop, we're out of clamps, and then that's it. We fly up high, and then we barely do half with a critical hit. It just uses Amnesia. We are able to hit again, and it does absolutely nothing because it's boosted its stats up so high. So we hit it again, barely anything. Fly, not even able to knock it out. Super Potion. I feel like Lorelai's just playing with us. Like, continues to just use stat boostings, and then it finally knocks us out. I made the decision here to use one of the rare candies. Articuno grew to level 55. Cannot learn more than 4 moves and has agility. This is a hard one because Mimic would be a great move, but we need Blizzard and Ice Beam, and we can't get rid of Fly. I have to think about this in a logical standpoint. Do I want to go with Mimic, or do I want to go with Agility? We cannot get Mimic again. I decided to bite the bullet. I literally said YOLO. You just go with Agility, and this is one of the best decisions that we could ever make. We go into our first battle of Lorelei with Agility. So my thought process was to get Agility up as fast as I could. But the issue is that Dugong can also drop our stats.
Agility is just like Sword Dance, except instead of lowering your attack through the roof, it will higher your speed, and then your attack and special will be risen by the badge boost glitch. And with the badge boost glitch set up as well as the heightened speed, it will give us that little bit of the edge that we need. However, the issue is that Articuno just has bad luck yet again, and Dugong hits us lowering our attack, so our flies are barely doing anything. So we have to just power through it. This attempt was really good, but the problem is that Dugong just wouldn't let us through. He was literally Gandalf.
You shall not pass!
But as they say, sometimes you just gotta try and keep trying and trying again. So we finally get through Dugong. I don't know how. Next comes out Cloister. We use Blizzard, almost able to knock it out with one hit. It hits with Spike Cannon, does a decent amount of damage. We go for Ice Beam because we're out of Blizzard. We do get the critical hit and knock it out. Next comes out Slowbro, so we decide to go for Blizzard. Forgetting that I'm out, I say just gotta go for Ice Beam because our attack is down. We do massive damage though. Second Ice Beam is almost able to knock it out. Starts with the Slip Potions. Third Ice Beam almost knocks it out. Fourth Ice Beam is able to take it down though. Jinx comes out. This is the scary part. Go for Ice Beam. Almost able to knock it out. It gets off the double slab. Does okay damage. Getting up there. Next Ice Beam takes it out. We're finally at Lapras. Lapras comes out. I go for Ice Beam, and we barely do anything. I see that we have to pivot to it, but we don't. Go for Ice Beam again. We have it down to a third. Hits the Confuse Ray. We don't have a choice. We have to use Fly. And we hit ourselves at Confusion to get hit with Hydro Pump. It barely does anything. Second Confusion hits us, though. And we lose. Oh, my goodness. Next comes out Dugong. Back at Gandalf, though, we do have a good strategy in mind. The thing is, it just comes down to RNG of what Dugong is going to choose to do. If it chooses to go to sleep, then we can set up the agility when it is asleep, so it's not getting off free turns to attack us. If it's an attack drop, that's going to hurt us. Fly does a decent amount of damage. It goes to sleep, so we're going to head up with our agility. Go for Fly again. It wakes up, hit it with Fly. Almost able to knock it out again, but of course, critical hit goes back to sleep. Okay, Gandalf, let us pass, please. Fly does well over half, so now it's a 2-hit instead of a 3-hit. Do a second Fly, and it's down for the count. Ouse comes out Cloister, go with Fly again. Ends up doing about a third, close to a fourth. It could be a 3 or a 4 hit. We hit ourselves in Confusion, get hit with Spike Cannon. It's barely doing anything because of the badge boost glitch. Now we are able to break through Confusion and Fly. It's going to be a 3-hit KO. Hits us with Spike Cannon again. And then I decide that it's just time to go straight for Ice Beam. We are able to knock it out. Next comes out Slowbro. Slowbro, I go straight for Blizzard. I know I've got to hit it before it sets up. Froze it. This is it. This is the RNG that we need. We're able to break right through it. Jinx comes out. Go straight for Fly. Hit it. Able to knock it out in one hit with the badge boost glitch. Out comes Lapras. Lapras could still knock us out with a critical hit Hydro Pump, but we do almost take it out. And then the second Fly goes up, connects, and Lorelei is defeated. So I know I'm relatively new at making these videos, but honestly, this is kind of a point where we come to think about it. What are we going to do about Bruno? Because unless we have something that's weak to Bruno, we don't have anything we can use, he's trivial and easy. Of course, take him out in one hit. Hitmonchan comes out. It's out with one hit. Next comes out Hitmonlee. I'm like, hey, let's see how much Fly does. Let's hit it out. But that's just what it comes down to. We can one-shot all of Bruno's Pokemon except for Machamp. And Machamp could potentially be one-shot with a Blizzard. I feel like Bruno just gets the short end of the stick because he just doesn't have good Pokemon, and fighting types just aren't good in Generation 1. The X-Defense is the only reason he was able to survive. And then I just go straight for a second one and just know it's going to connect and almost knock out. Goes to the Karate Chop, gets a critical hit, does decent damage, but Ice Beam just knocks him out, and the Hiker is defeated. Third on the list to knock out is Erica. Erica is going to be a little bit more of a challenge, but nowhere near as much as she's going to be with other Pokemon, just because Articuno is really good. So we're going to start out straight with a Blizzard and almost one-shot it. But she just brings it back, and seeing that, I take this time to set it up. Even if we would have been badly poisoned, we still would have been perfectly fine. So Gengar comes out, hit it with Ice Beam, and just instantly knock it out. But growing up that level does reset our badge boost, but we still have our heightened speed. Go with Blizzard, able to one-shot Hunter. Arbok comes out, go with Blizzard, able to one-shot Arbok. And then Gengar comes out, hit it with Blizzard, and it's almost a one-shot, but it's frozen again. 3 freezes. What is this RNG? Next up is Lance. Lance, I was not worried about other than getting through Gyarados. Gyarados is a very scary Pokemon. Luckily, he just starts out with a Leer, and we're able to almost knock him out in one hit. He goes for the Dragon Breath, so we go ahead through with that and get him knocked out. Next is out Dragonair, and this is where it just becomes straightforward and easy. Ice Beam, knocked out. Out comes Dragonair, Ice Beam, knocked out. Out comes Aerodactyl after going to level 60. Mist? Nope, we do not need Mist. Oh, I almost learned it. Aerodactyl comes out. I just go in ahead and go with Blizzard, but he does fly up high, sadly. I know that we're going to have to take a hit here no matter what, so I go with Agility so we can get a boost on the speed and outspeed him next turn. Hit him with Ice Beam, knock him out. It also ensures the Dragonite coming out will be one shot with Ice Beam no matter what. And with that, we have defeated Lance. Ooh, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So after going through everything, it's finally time to take on the champion. Let's get to it. The champion is going to be as pretty much straightforward as it was before. The only real challenge is going to be getting through that cloister, because Gandalf just doesn't want to let us through. Now it's going to come Sand Slash. I had the agility out first turn, went ahead and used it. I did use my rare candies to get leveled up, and it starts out with Fury Swipes, barely does anything. Second agility, followed by another thing of Fury Swipes. Third agility, we're now fully set up. Woohoo! Woohoo! That hit heavy. We're down to half HP though. First Ice Beam goes out, knocks it out in one hit. Out comes Alakazam. We're going to outspeed it though, go straight with Fly, hit it like a truck, knock it out in one hit. Next comes Executor. I had to make the decision to go for Fly because it does have a high special. I didn't want a chance not knocking it out. Went with Fly, took it out in one hit. Comes Magneton. Magneton could potentially hurt us. Put the Pet Prey, Blizzard, and Blizzard gets the one-hit KO. Out comes Cloyster. Cloyster, I was trying to decide if I should use Fly or Blizzard. I went straight for Fly. It barely did anything. Hits us with Spike Cannon. We have to go through 2 more Flies, potentially 3, or Blizzard. I decided to just go straight for Blizzard with a higher special. It still only does about a third. I go for Fly one more time, and we are able to knock it out. And then the last Pokemon comes out with Flareon. Flareon, we go straight for Fly, use it, connect, almost knocks it out, but it's Fire Spin miss. I go straight for Ice Beam, and just like that, we are the champion. Articuno clocks in with a time of 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 15 seconds. Nice time. Overall, I'm really happy with how good Articuno did. I was not expecting Lorelei to body us anywhere near as badly as she did. But really, it just came down to Cloyster and Slowbro. They're both just really tanky. But with agility and a little bit of leveling up, we were able to break through. I think we could have beaten her at the lower level with RNG, but that's what it comes down to. We ended at level 63 with a time of 4 hours and 15 minutes. Nice run. If you made it this far, I just want to say thank you. I did put a lot of effort into this. I'm trying to put more effort into every single video that I am putting out, and I really hope that you did enjoy this. Articuno was definitely a lot more fun than Venusaur, though I was not expecting to get anywhere near as badly walled by Lorelei as I did. I think that if I would have just gone in with a different moveset from the beginning, we potentially could have won it faster. It's hard to say because just Cloyster is so tanky, Dugong is so tanky, and then you have Slowbro. So it felt like a hit and miss, but overall it was really fun. Next up is going to be Squirtle. So Squirtle or Turtle Blastoise on the solo run for that. And then after that is Mew. So I'm not actually picking these in any specific order. I'm letting Twitter vote. So what I am going to do is I'll put my Twitter link in the link below. I'll put Twitch in the link because I do try to stream these live at Twitch in case you saw throughout the camera. And then after I complete the Squirtle line, which hopefully will be today, but we'll see. It depends on how everything else goes. I will try to put up the next one for then figuring out Mew, because Mew is going to be fun because it can learn any move. I was expecting to do it later, but it kind of won by a landslide, but it is what it is. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, or hey, if I messed something up and you see it, let me know so I can get better. I'm trying to self-teach myself everything with this video editing, so I gotta say, cutting half the time off this and putting in so much more effort and it looking so much better is only a good positive thing to keep going. But I am really enjoying this. But like I said, I hope you have a great rest of your day and take care. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Xeon. Bye!